Welcome to the Parenting Versus Podcast. I meant to fade out on that song, but I ended up just stopping it. But anyway, it's Saturday morning. Kids are in their newly established playroom watching Moana.
We have been in a kid transition, for a week. We transitioned our two boys into sharing a room, which is
Good.
Interesting.
No, Riley
though.
is our 2-year-old. He's excited to be out of the crib.
Yeah. So it's good.
They're in the bunk beds, and Riley's on the bottom bunk, and he's super, super excited about that.
Our 5-year-old took a little convincing to share his room, which, I get it. You know, he was kind of bummed. But then I said, hey, you guys get to be roommates. Kind of like when you're in the Army.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah. And then he told me, Mom, we're a squad. And I was like, a squad of 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
We have a room for Riley, but Riley's been wanting to be a part of story time and bedtime rituals, and he's been wanting to he
Rituals?
It's a ritual.
Bad. Routine,
rituals, same thing.
We don't sacrifice small animals at bedtime.
No, just what are they called?
I don't know.
Flying foxes. Have you seen those?
No.
They're giant bats that live in the Philippines.
Oh yeah. They were in a book that Luke had, and I was
they're 2 feet tall, and they have wingspans that are 5 feet.
No, thank you.
They do not harm humans. They're frutivores. It means they eat fruit.
Sounds like they're fresh out of hell.
But they're little mammals with huge wings, and anyways, yeah. Riley, at least for 6 months now, has been climbing out of his crib with no issue.
Yeah.
And he'll come in and he'll lay down on the bottom bunk with Luke. So we're like, well, let's just put him in the room.
Yeah.
And then we talked to our friend, or I talked to our friend Easton, and he's like, yeah, we have rooms for the boys too, but I just have them in their bedroom because it solidifies their brotherly relationships.
Well, we also we weighed the pros and cons. I think after talking to some people that have their kids share rooms, and
yeah.
I never shared a room because it was me and my brother growing up mostly. So there was no reason, but I think it makes them closer.
Yeah.
You know, and it also teaches them to share, which I think our kids could definitely learn a little better.
Luke for sure needs to.
Yeah, so we're trying it out.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine. I shared a room with my brothers, not because my parents really had any intentions with it, but we basically just had to.
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool that we have the option, though. If it doesn't work, there's room to change, and if it does work, then we're good. We're golden.
Yeah.
So we're trying that out. We turned Riley's old room into a kid's den.
We took the TV out of our room and put it in there.
Yeah, we just kind of want to separate our grown-up space from our kid space to some degree. Because every time we try to watch TV together in here, we get overrun by children, and it never happens. And then they kind of want to watch, Moana like they are right now. So we are trying this out. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes, and yeah. It should be good.
I think it'll be fine.
It's been good so far. So.
Yeah, and that gives us a little bit of time to sit with each other.
Yeah, this is the first time we've actually had semi-quiet, concentrated time together in a long time.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, so they're distracted by Moana because Riley loves Moana.
So the other day, this is so funny. I have to tell this story because I was every time I think about it, I laugh. Right? So the other day we're in the car and we had to stop and get gas. And Lorenzo's at the gas station getting the gas outside, and I'm in the car with the kids. And out of nowhere, our 5-year-old yells, "America, let's rock it out!" And I'm like, huh? And then Riley, our 2-year-old, yells, "Moana!" And I was just like, what is happening? It was the weirdest thing, but I was like, what are these, your battle cries?
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. And then Juliet, our baby, was just like,
yeah, she'll chime in.
Yeah. So I was like, I feel like I'm going to war, and I'm not really sure what this is about, but it was hilarious.
So, yeah, and this is the first time we've sat for a while. This is the first podcast we've done in our house in a really long time.
Yeah.
We've been doing them at bars because that's when we have time.
To talk to each other.
And we actually have a date tonight, but I'm like, I don't really want to record a podcast on a day. I kind of just want to hang out.
You mean you want to actually date me? You want to talk to me?
See, this is our problem.
This is sarcasm. Calm down.
Yeah, but when I'm sarcastic with you, it's like...
I can't tell you're joking sometimes.
Like the other day, I pretended that I forgot about her birthday. And she believed me.
That is not nice, though. That's not funny. It's mean. It's mean, guys.
Yeah, but you can... that's a double standard right there.
Why?
Because you can have sarcasm, but I can't.
I'm outwardly sarcastic all the time, and people expect that from me.
And so am I. Anyway,
Yeah, let's not get into an argument about this on the podcast.
So we're going to have a date tonight. Lindsay's, I guess, my good friend, too. I was going to say Lindsay's good friend. I don't really like her, but Aaron's mom.
Whoa.
What?
You don't really like Deb?
I was going to say Aaron. Can you...
Oh, jeez. I love Deb.
Yes, of course I love Deb. Aaron, I can take or leave, but...
Hey. We're kidding, Aaron. He's kidding. That's that sarcasm again.
See, of course Aaron knows that. But anyway, Aaron's mom is going to hang out with the kiddos tonight.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love her.
Yeah, so we get a little...
Aaron, we have stolen your mom.
Aaron doesn't listen.
We've hijacked your mother.
Aaron doesn't listen.
Well, maybe someday if she has kids, she will. But right now I'm just saying we're stealing your mom.
What does it matter if she has kids or not?
Well, I don't think that parenting versus podcast appeals to people that don't really have kids.
I think it does. People just...
I just don't think people are like... They're probably like, eh.
We don't talk exclusively about parenting.
But they don't know that.
Maybe one day if Aaron gets the internet, she can listen.
Yeah. Yeah, or she stops being a crazy cat lady.
I guess...
In a basement.
In her basement, like... The internet doesn't reach her, so...
Yeah. That sounds so
People
sad.
who don't know Aaron are like, what the hell are they talking about?
This poor lady. Like, somebody save her. No, she's doing just fine. She went to a Denver Nuggets game the other night.
She's trapped. She did a virtual reality Denver Nuggets game. She's trapped in a basement.
I'm not even sure Aaron's a real person, honestly. I don't even know. She might just be a figment of both of our imaginations.
Yeah.
Our special friend.
Sure. But anyway, Aaron's mom is going to watch our kids tonight. So I'm going to have an opportunity just to hang out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be a little bit difficult. Not hanging out, but what?
You have like coffee on your mustache. Let me have it.
No, that'll be fine. I'm going to take another drink of coffee in a second. So, yeah.
So it's going to be difficult. Why?
Because
I'm a difficult human being to deal with.
Well,
I am. It's okay. I get it.
Okay. Well,
I'm all right with that.
We had a week.
Yeah, it was I feel like we're always having weeks.
We have weeks every week.
Yeah.
But we had a week where basically there was very little love between us from Monday through Friday.
We were like ships passing in the night. Only it wasn't that romantic. It
like
was
enemy ships.
Yeah, with their guns out. Mm-hmm. Shooting at each other.
Yes, we did shoot at each other.
Get out of my turf. Yeah.
Man, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Let's call them pirate ships. Can we call them our ships were pirate ships.
They were pirate ships.
Enemy pirate ships.
And we didn't do that great this week on the relationship front.
Not at all.
Do you know why?
Is this the part where I say why?
No, I'm just wondering. Like,
oh no, why?
Because I think that we're not alone. I think that there's other couples with kids, especially, who have these weeks where we're just at each other.
Can I just tell you, like, yes, I feel like, and this is just me speaking from a mom's experience.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
I'm not.
I don't know why I said that.
It's like, okay, you don't even know what to say.
Don't hold back.
You know how you want to? Can I just two things?
Sure.
Thing one, you want to know how you can tell I've had a really stressful week?
You pop your knuckles?
No, I painted my fingernails.
Okay.
Treat yourself. Yeah.
How is that treating yourself?
That's like me saying I need to do something for me and I don't know what to do and I'm stressed out. I think I'm going to paint my nails because it's something I never do.
That's true. You never do that.
I know. So yesterday I did.
Well, they look nice.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I like never paint my nails.
Well, you stayed in the lines. That's good.
Well, it takes a lot of practice. Actually, to be honest, I'm left-handed. It's very hard to paint my right hand. I mean, my left hand.
So your left hand's like all perfect and your right hand has like
no, it would be
paints everywhere.
No, my left hand would be the one that's jacked up because I'd be doing it right-handed.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they're all right. They're all right. I would like black nail polish, which is weird. I feel like that's a middle school coming out.
That is a middle school thing. One of my students painted her nails black.
If I really wanted to go middle school, I could just get a Sharpie and start coloring them. But anyway, so we had a bad week. We had a rough week with each other. And then also on top of it, like the lack of sleep that we had doing this adjusting to having the boys share a room was kind of hard.
Yeah.
The first night.
I think lack of sleep is huge.
That makes everything magnified. Like every negative thing magnified like a million times.
I sleep like a rock most of the time, but the one time that you did manage to wake me up, you're like, hey, I need you to go, like, settle them down. No, it was Riley and Luke. I need you to go settle them down. So I got up. I was compliant. I didn't complain, but I got up. I went into the room, and they were both out sleeping. So I was like, well, why did I wake up? But you had already, like, been doing stuff. And went back into bed, and I lay down, and it was 2 a.m, and my body was like, nope, you're up.
Yeah.
Time to be up. And I was like,
no.
And I was tired, and I was tossing and turning, and I might have nudged you a little bit because I wanted you to suffer with me.
Yeah. Not cool, dude. So, but no, like the first night I actually got them to sleep in their separate beds, top and bottom bunk. Lorenzo had class. He was gone, so I was doing bedtime.
Yeah, can you hold the mic so I can...
Which is another issue. Like, can I have a refill too?
I need to make more coffee.
Oh, he's got to make more coffee. Wow, we are on the ball today. We've already killed an entire pot of coffee, guys. No, so Lorenzo has class 2 nights a week, and that already like kind of irks me. And I know it's not his fault, but I tend to resent it anyway. So I've already kind of like on those days I'm overtired and I'm in a bad mood because I realize that the entire day from wake up to night time with the kids is going to be me trying to get them to do shit they don't want to do. So it's like that mental struggle is already there. Like when I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's a class night, which means like I'm going to struggle with these kids all damn day. And I probably need to be more positive, and I'm working on that. But anyway, so I get the kids to go to sleep. Luke's on the top bunk. Riley's on the bottom bunk. Like, it's all good. They're asleep by like 7:45, which never happens. And I was like, holy crap, it's a miracle, right? So then Lorenzo comes home. I'm like, wow, we have some time to actually spend together. We start watching a show together, like just to like kind of wind down from the day and relax and everything. And out of nowhere, our 5-year-old comes running into our room and he's like, I had an accident. And I'm like, what? Because literally he never has accidents. Like he does not usually like pee in bed. He doesn't have accidents. Like it's not something he really has done. So I'm like, of course, like the one night, like that's when it happens. Okay. Right. So I'm like, figures. Like the one time that I think I'm doing good as a mom and I'm like, nailed it. He comes out and he's like, I had an accident. And I'm like, oh crap. So I go in there and I clean up like pee stained sheets and I'm like half awake trying to like do that. And I'm like really angry and I'm like, okay, fine. I can handle it. Already handled it. No big deal. Then like not even 20 minutes later, I hear thump and then I hear crying and screaming. And our 2-year-old had rolled himself off the bottom bunk onto the floor, woke himself up and was screaming and crying. And I was like, are you kidding me?
So I'm back. Were you talking about the middle of the night fiasco?
Uh-huh. So yeah.
Was that the same night that Luke peed his pants?
Yes.
Did you already talk about that?
Yeah. And then right after we got Riley settled, probably an hour later after we were finally both in a deep sleep again, our 1-year-old woke up crying. So I was very tired and I was very angry. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of it. And then like the cherry on top of that was Friday this week. I had gotten out of the house early to get the kids to get Luke to school.
So keep in mind, this whole time, me and you are like at odds with each other.
Right. Okay.
Let me get him a cup.
Yeah. So Friday, which would have been yesterday, I'm like, okay, just got to get through this day. Then it's the weekend. Like we're all good. And I'm off on Fridays. So I feel a little more relaxed because I have time to get stuff done. I'm not running off to work.
You can share this with your brothers.
And we get to Luke's school and he's like, Mom, I have to go potty. And I'm like, okay, hold on. And I pull over because I know he can't hold it. So I like pull over. This is so ghetto. I pull over to the back of an alley behind a building and I'm like, okay, let's just get out and you can just go potty really quick. And as I'm unhooking him, he totally pees his pants. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I have to know that he's going to be late to school on Friday morning. I have to run back home, get him a change of clothes, help him change. Then I have to go to the school office, get him signed in, walk him to class while he's late, It was just
your
not.
Nana's in the...
And my grandma, I called my grandma because I was so stressed out, and my Nana lives not too far from where I was at the time. So I was like, hey, Grandma, can I just come and pick you up? And can you sit in the car while I run him in and change him and then run him into school to get his late slip? Thankfully, she did that. And then the day kind of turned around. I took my Nana to breakfast as a thank you, and we had a really good time. But it was one of those weeks.
Okay, I have to put out another fire, so hang on to this for a second.
Oh, geez. What now? Our kids are slowly trickling. It's too early. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I think Lorenzo and I tend to disagree on how we parent and the way we parent too. And so you add that to no sleep and a little tension, and it's like it's like a recipe for disaster. We are just at each other's throats all the time. I have to remind myself that this is a season of life, and I hate when people say that because it sounds so cheesy. It sounds very like TV, like televangelist. Like, I feel like Joel Osteen would say that. Like, well, this is a season of your life. But the thing is, like, it really is a season of your life. And I am not a Joel Osteen fan, by the way. So I'm just putting that out there for the record. Not a fan. I would like to know. Never mind. No, that's not nice. I'm going to cut it right there. But yeah, it is a season of life. It's a hard season of life. And
so I still want to talk about the week.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I'm like handling kids here.
Yeah. Isn't this a wonderful season of life?
So
I'll put out this fire.
No,
You talk for a
it's
little
okay. Don't worry
I got
about
it.
No.
I'm sorry. This is almost comical. Our 5-year-old comes out and says, Riley is being very, very naughty. Naughty can mean a lot of things when you're talking about Riley. It could mean he's climbing on top of a dresser, about to jump off. It could mean he's just hanging out, like, and he took somebody's cup and he's drinking their water. Riley's got variations of naughty, and they're more mischievous than they are naughty. But it's kind of funny. He's like Curious George. He's like a little monkey. So, anyway, and now our daughter's crying. Lorenzo's getting really irritated right now, and oh goodness. Yep. So, seasons of life. We have read, Lorenzo and I both, that this season of life with little kids, people, as in parents, are the most tired, stressed, and depressed they will be in their entire lives. I definitely think that's true. I shouldn't say I think that's true. I know that's true.
What's true?
That in this season of life, do you remember how we read that this is when parents are the most tired and the most stressed and the most depressed?
I didn't read it. I heard it on a podcast. I don't remember which one. But, so this whole week we've been at odds with each other. That's where I left off.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. And it was a crazy week, and you talked for the past 15 minutes about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be okay?
Huh?
Are you okay?
I know. Yes, I'm fine.
You seem a little stressed right now. You seem a little stressed out right now.
Yeah, because you're relaxing, recording a podcast, and I'm taking care of kids.
See, this is the frustrating part, because I offered to help with that, and you said
no.
no.
No, it's okay. I'm not mad. What?
And this is exactly how our week has been.
I'm fine. Are you fine? How's your coffee?
It's great.
Good.
It's cold.
These kids, though, they don't get along with each other. They don't like each other.
Hence the reason they're sharing a room.
Yeah, we're going to make them like each other.
You know, it is that time of year where we can start talking about how Santa's watching, though, which is nice. I'll take care of this.
Yeah. I'm going to pause. Okay, we're back.
We are back. Did you guys like that little techno pause?
I decided that I wanted to do some music in between the breaks since we'd have them. But,
yeah, it kind of helps follow the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, you can't expect kids to share.
That's true.
They don't share. I guess adults don't really share that well either, but kids especially. Or maybe adults especially. I don't know. Maybe just humans.
I've seen adults act like preschoolers.
Oh, yeah.
As adults, like
Oh,
no problem.
for sure. Yeah, I made popcorn because they're watching Moana, and I put it in a big bowl.
Moana.
And I told Luke, share with your brother. Nope.
Nope.
So I went and I got the popcorn and I separated it into 2 bowls, and now they're okay.
I really like how kids are so honest, though. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, no.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
But yeah, we were talking about how I heard on a podcast, it was probably the Bad Christian podcast, shout out. Where
If you're drinking, you can take your drink now.
Yeah. Where they were, oh dear goodness. What?
They are making a really bad mess.
It's okay.
I
We'll
don't care.
handle it.
Go in there and hang
We
out.
expect that from you guys.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Luke is a tattle a little bit.
It's like he's got radar, and he knows that every time we're like relaxed, he's like, "Now's the
And
time."
every time we're getting into a point, like he's like, now I need to interrupt. Let's go. That's okay. So I heard on the podcast that this is like the most stressful, worst time of your life. You don't have much money. You don't have much sleep. You don't have, like, you're trying to figure out your career. You're trying to figure out your budgets. Like, you're trying to figure out everything.
And we've talked about that a little
Yeah.
bit on this podcast
Right.
before. So,
But I've heard arguments too. I was talking with a friend the other day about how there's a rebuttal. Like, these problems seem difficult right now, but think about the problems they'll have like when they're older, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Riley comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I was speeding and I passed somebody. I passed somebody in a school zone. Now I lost all the points on my driver's license. They're going to impound my car. That's a big problem. How am I going to deal with that?" Or one of our kids comes home and they're like, or Luke or Riley comes home and they're like, "Yeah, I got a girl pregnant." Or Juliet, "Hey, I'm pregnant."
So here's the thing, and I'm not making excuses because I think that, yeah, those are huge problems.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we have to parent them well now.
Right.
We also have to explain consequences to them now.
Right.
And we also have to let them know that their choices have consequences. Because there's a difference between now us parenting children who don't understand the world and they don't understand consequences. They don't understand those things. Mm-hmm. Versus parenting a teenager or a young adult who understands consequences and makes the decision to go against those consequences anyway. It's different.
Yeah.
And while they're still going to make stupid decisions, like haven't we all, like there's some personal responsibility that comes with those at that age that they don't have right now.
How are you going to handle when one of our kids is hungover?
I feel like that's kind of a natural consequence. Mm-hmm. Seriously. But
adults don't even learn. I mean, there are days when I'm hungover and I'm like, why did I do that?
I'm never drinking again.
Seriously. And then...
Until next weekend.
And then, like...
All of my 20s.
Right. Well, no, as an adult, in my 30s, I'm like, well, I just love beer a lot. And Albuquerque is one of the best cities in the whole country. Like, it's a beer city. It really is.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want to be fat, so I can go, like, for me...
That's your motivation?
Kind of, yeah, actually. I mean, like, I can go, like, yeah, I'll have a beer, cool, like, I'm going to enjoy it. But I know that as a woman, if I drink consistently on a regular basis, I will gain weight, and I don't want that. So,
well, I love to enjoy a beer, and if I enjoy one 16-ounce can of La Cumbre IPA, shout out to La Cumbre, they're awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm going to enjoy that whole 4-pack.
See, I'm not like that. I guess that's where we're different. I can cut it off and be like, I'm done.
I just love...
You might be an alcoholic if you can't.
Well, I'm not an alcoholic, but it might be in my DNA to just really enjoy beer.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, you should always have control. You always have the choice.
I do. I can enjoy one can of La Cumbre IPA, but there's a good chance that if I don't have any responsibilities, especially the next day,
you have kids.
Some guy in a Jeep just hopped on a curb and just like rolling down the curb.
Okay.
All right, whatever.
But what I'm saying is you have kids, so you're always going to have responsibilities.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. It's different. I mean, in your 20s, like, yeah, you could be like, I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow. I have crap to do. Like, I do what I want.
No.
Now, we have kids that are up at 5 a.m. jumping on us and coming out here and interrupting us. Like they are now.
Okay. Juliet's fine.
Yeah. But do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just different. Like, even that dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think about all the stuff that I have to do the next day.
Hi.
And I'm like, no, I can't. I don't want to make breakfast dealing with the hangover. I don't want to. I don't want to live life dealing with a hangover. I don't want to go to the drop-off line with my kid dealing with a hangover. Like, no.
Excuse me.
Salud.
So we were talking about like handling with our kids if they're hungover
Well, I think that, but like,
versus like the problems now.
hi. Yeah, no, but I think that honestly, I think a hangover is a natural consequence. Nobody wants to feel that way. Like, you chose to drink, son, and so you are therefore choosing to have this crappy hangover today,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, like, if they have responsibilities, I think you teach them that, like, your responsibilities don't go away just because you decided to drink too much. Like, I know that's a really crappy thing to do, and it sucks. But, like, when I was 21, I worked with my mom. And it was at a daycare and preschool. And it was summer. And I went out the night before, and I drank way too much, and I was super hungover, and my mom was the director, right? Not a good thing. So I'm at work, and I'm in the staff bathroom, like, puking. Not cool. I'm throwing up. I'm really hungover. It was a horrible, horrible thing. But, yeah, as my daughter makes silly noises. So then as I'm puking in this stall, right, I hear the door open, and I see a pair of shoes in the stall next to me.
It was at a church, right?
Lo and behold, it's my mom. She hears me puking. She's not stupid. She knows what's up. And I'm like, I think I have the flu. I think I should go home. And my mom's like, no, try again. And I was like, I just don't feel good. She's like, well, then maybe next time you'll make better choices. But you still have work today. Mm-hmm. And so she made me stay the entire day, like the entire work day, because that was my responsibility.
So I wonder...
And I never
your
did
mom,
that again.
Your
It
mom was
sucked.
well rested. She probably wasn't at odds with your dad at the time. Like, it wasn't that big of an issue.
It was me drinking too much. I'm talking about natural consequences.
Right, but we're comparing these problems to, like, the younger problems.
Right.
Right? Because...
But really, it wasn't her problem.
Yeah.
It was my problem.
So I'm gonna say that that yeah, the overall morale of parenting is going to be the lowest during these younger years, even though they're super cute and adorable.
And this 1-year-old's crawling all over you.
Yeah, as I have hot
She
coffee.
just wants to be a part of this.
Yeah, she does.
All right, little girl. Did you have something you needed to say? She's jumping.
She
up and
needs to
down.
wiggle.
She says, I need to wiggle.
She needs to wiggle.
Okay. All right.
Are you
little
done
girl.
wiggling?
And we're dancing now.
Whoa, wiggler.
She's got a
She's
lot
like-
of wiggles to get out.
Yeah.
I wish you guys could see this. She's just like wiggling like a crazy woman.
Yeah. I'm gonna put her back in Moana.
You want to go watch Moana? Not really. She just wants to wiggle.
Let's go with Moana land.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, so point being, yes, the problems change. The seasons of life change. I don't think that one is worse or harder or more difficult than the other. It just morphs or mutates into something different. So yeah, and it's hard to envision that though now when you're in the midst of little kids and little kid stuff all the time. It's hard. It's hard to see past like your day to day sometimes. For me, it's like an everyday thing. It is hard for me to get past my day to day. I hate monotony and I hate like boring day to day routines. And right now that's just what our life is. And I have to accept it. And it's really hard. I feel like I fight it with every fiber of my being every single day. And that's something I've got to work on, but I did randomly get a tattoo on Sunday though, so I felt like that was fighting the monotony a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice tattoo.
Thank you. I was honestly expecting it to hurt like more than it did, but it's pretty simple, so.
They're just like 2 lines.
They're friendship arrows, you can look it up. But yeah, no, it was just a random thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of thinking about this. Like, I don't want to overthink it. I'm just going to do it. So I just did it.
Yeah, since I've become a science educator, I don't know where my mind's going, but I'm like, maybe I'll get the formula for photosynthesis tattooed on my arm. And I was like halfway serious for a second. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Nobody would understand. It'd be a good conversation starter.
Yep.
But, and if you met somebody who was like super into photosynthesis, they'd be like, oh my gosh.
Well, we all should be super into photosynthesis. Seriously.
Here
It's
we
the only reason we have oxygen to breathe and food to eat.
Oh, maybe you should get that tattoo.
Or I was thinking about getting the coordinates, like
That's a little cooler.
the coordinates of where you and the kids were born.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
I feel like that would be cooler.
yeah. Riley and Juliet would have the same coordinates, and then
Yeah.
Luke's coordinates would be slightly different.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, so stressful week. I think
Here they come.
a lot of things. Good Lord, no! Let me get you a different snack.
Wow, we are definitely mastering this parent game today. Happy Saturday.
Here's the deal. You are not allowed to come back out.
Do you hear this? This is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Hey Luke, you need to stay in there until the movie's finished, please.
You can have a fig bar.
And yes, I'm an awesome parent. Stay in that room until the movie's over. Don't we do that anyway, like as adults? I feel like if we Netflix, like binge, that's what we want to do. We want to stay in that room until that show is over. I'm giving you a gift, son. Uh-huh. That was Juliet. Yeah, and then, I don't know. Like last night, we had a family movie night at Luke's school. They showed Captain Underpants, so we went and saw that. And it was like, I have to make sure they're gone. It was such a stupid movie. I mean, duh, it was for kids, but it was just like, I was like rolling my parent eyes, like, do we have to go to this tonight? Like, I just want to do nothing at home. Like, I don't want to go back to Luke's school with a bunch of kids in a gym, like somebody kill me. It ended up being okay, but it was just like one of those things where I'm like, this is a privilege to sit and watch a movie and not be interrupted. Enjoy it. Because when you're 34, kids, you're not going to have that anymore.
Yeah. I have not been able to keep a thought or complete a thought, and I really hope that this next snack keeps them occupied for at least 20 minutes.
Welcome to parenthood.
Nope.
We may have to pause one more time. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm not going to pause.
You're not going to pause?
No.
Oh,
They'll resolve it.
we hope. This is part of the learning curve, guys. Trial and error.
What on earth was I even talking about?
Well, we were talking about coordinate tattoos.
Yeah. Here. I actually wrote down notes.
You took notes on our own podcast.
No, I wrote down notes of things I wanted to talk about.
Oh, look at you all organized.
So.
I guess you are a teacher. It would make total sense.
All right. So, contributing factors to why we've been at each other's throats.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
Going back
lack
up.
of sleep is big. I think that there's a bit of need for each individual to focus on things that they enjoy, and either of us have been able to do that. So I enjoy playing video games to your not detriment, but
you can
to your frustration.
You can explain those things without making like snarky little comments.
Okay, well, you don't like video games.
I don't like
And-
snarky comments either.
Okay, this wasn't snarky. I love to run. I haven't ran in like 8 years, but I love to run around the neighborhood.
You chase our kids daily.
I also love to go on hikes and do nature. And New Mexico is one of the most beautiful states. People don't know that around. If you're not from New Mexico, you don't know that. But New Mexico is probably way more beautiful than the state you live in. Just saying. Unless you're in Oregon, Colorado, Utah, California, those states are probably about the same.
Washington.
But if you live in Missouri, Ryan, you should probably move back.
He's rolling his eyes right now. He's going, "Ugh."
No, Missouri is pretty. They have really cool trees and stuff, and lakes and rivers, but so does New Mexico. Anyway, yeah, I love doing those things. Lindsay's rolling her eyes now.
Because we always get on a tangent about New Mexico, and sometimes we need to move past
Okay,
it.
well, we'll move past. So
Thank you.
I love doing those things, and I don't get to do those things. And when I don't get to do those things, I feel frustrated. I can't take time for myself. I also really, really enjoy throwing on some quiet music and reading something and then reflecting on that in a journal, which I'm actually pretty lucky because I get to do that pretty frequently during my lunch break.
Yeah, I don't keep journals anymore. I don't have time.
I love keeping journals. Like it's an outlet for me.
Yeah, I love it too. I just don't have time.
I feel weird though. I've ripped up some of my journals that I had in college because they were thoughts and writings that would conflict with like our marriage, I guess.
I don't care.
Huh?
I don't care.
Well,
I think that's who you were at the time. I think you should keep that.
I ripped those up like in a fight we had like the first year we were married
Okay.
because there was a lot of jealousy floating around on both sides. You were jealous, and then I was jealous, and then I ripped them up.
Okay. Well, that's a personal choice. I would have kept them.
No, it was during a fight.
Okay.
No, I think it was even a fight about my journals.
Anyway.
We were living in the Walter House.
Oh.
So, downtown Albuquerque.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a contributing factor. Just like we don't take time for ourselves, and you like to do stuff too.
I like to do art. I've said that a few times. Like, I have this one canvas I've been working on for like 6 months, no joke. And
It looks good.
I'm almost done. If I could have like an hour today, I could finish it. And I'd like to, actually, because I want to hang it in the playroom. But yeah, it's stuff like that. I can do that with kids around, but then they want to do it too, and it becomes more of a
No, you can't do art with kids.
like a craft project for them to do, not something I can do as an outlet.
Yeah, that's not going to work out. You have to be alone for that. Right?
Yeah. I like to read. I actually really like to read, which is something I don't do enough, and I wish I could. I have a lot of books. I have a book that my friend gave me that we talked about last time that I would like to finish reading.
What is it called again?
A Year of Small Things.
How far have you gotten through that book?
I literally got to the first chapter I was talking about. I have not had time to pick it up again. Like, the extent of my reading right now is Humans of New York, because it's like pictures and teeny tiny little blurbs.
Nice.
And it's like, it doesn't take a whole...
Those are really cool stories, though.
Yeah, no, I love the book. It's
There's
just like, it's, I don't want to say it's mindless, but it's easy to read, and
There's
no
a
plot
Facebook
line.
group called Humans of New Mexico, or Humans of Albuquerque.
Huh,
It's
that'd be
kind of the
interesting.
same idea, but it was really, really cool. Somebody was... Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mommy,
Yes, sir.
I want some coffee.
You cannot have coffee. You're 2.
I want some coffee.
No coffee.
No coffee for you, dude. You're 2. 2-year-olds don't get coffee.
Can you go watch Moana?
Yeah.
Okay, go watch Moana.
Love you, dude.
I don't want to watch Moana.
You don't? That's a first. You just want to snuggle for a minute? We are being overrun by children.
Yeah. It was starting to get good, too.
Well,
Oh, man.
she's
so-
fake crying. Baker. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So-
Drama.
We don't get to those things, and it's okay right now, I guess. We will get to those things, but I think that's part of the contributing factors. Yeah. Should we pause again?
I think we should pause.
Let's pause.
Okay, sorry guys.
And we're back, and I play that music, and I kind of chuckle a little bit. Yeah.
Chuckle. As I'm reading.
Humans of New York.
Like, this is my favorite. The pigeons always come, but I wasn't expecting the ducks. I'm like, well, that's
Hey, that's a good, you know. Pigeons always
They're-
come.
that could be a metaphor for a lot of things.
Yeah. I wonder if the ducks are good or bad. She likes the pigeons, and she's like, oh, bonus duck.
I feel like ducks are good. I feel like ducks are lucky.
Lucky duck.
Lucky duck, right? The pigeons always come, but sometimes you get a duck in there and you're like, whoa, that's my lucky duck.
Yeah. So,
So that's fun.
yeah, let's move on. Because we've been talking about
Shit parenting
our
and shit lives for a while.
and we've been modeling it right now on a podcast.
Yeah, super
But
good.
yeah, so I wrote down we've been busy all week, and next thing I also wanted to talk about is
Sassafras roots.
sassafras. Yes. Let's talk.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Let's talk about sassafras roots.
Delicious sarsaparilla.
Roots have a lot of power. Very, very high amounts of energy comes through a taproot.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, willpower. I've had a lot more this week, and I've been sticking to ketogenic diet that I heard about on the Bad Christian podcast. So
He hangs out with the Bad Christian Podcast more than he hangs out with
I
me.
love that show.
Yeah,
Now,
I know.
I try to mix it up. I found some more podcasts that I listen to.
I guess I'm not much different because I listen to lots of true crime podcasts.
What's your favorite podcast?
My favorite?
Yeah.
True Crime Garage. There are these two dudes.
What are the hosts' names?
There's the captain. He's my favorite.
Okay.
And I forget the other guy right now. I can't think. But they are funny. So I love true crime. I love watching like 48 Hours mysteries and things like that. I used to want to go into criminal justice, so that makes sense, I guess, and forensics. But I really like the psychology behind these crimes because a lot of them follow a certain format. You can usually tell the type of person. I mean, there's profiling that goes with all of this stuff. It's usually pretty cut and dry for the most part. I don't know. So True Crime Garage, they cover different crime stories and cases, but they also, what they do is they drink beer in their garage while they're talking about this crime. So it's kind of cool because they'll do like a shout out of a beer. You can buy them around on their website. And they'll talk about the beer. They'll talk about where it's from. They'll take a beer break, but then they continue on about this true crime. So
That sounds interesting.
yeah, so it's very interesting. It's definitely not a podcast you want to listen to with kids around because it gets pretty graphic in some of them. But it is interesting. And they kind of, the thing I like about them is like, they're giving you factual information, but they're also kind of just having a conversation about it. And they ask a lot of the questions that I would ask if I was like watching a show about it or I was looking at the crime. They'll say, well, what about this? Well, why didn't that guy say anything? Or, well, who the hell's that person? Or, it's interesting. And so it's a good podcast. If you like true crime, you like some snarky humor in there, sarcasm again, and you like beer, or you want to hear about different kinds of beers that are out there, you can definitely go check out the True Crime Podcast. They are amazing. True Crime Garage. That's my shout out for the day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like to think on these topics and these discussions that we listen to in podcasts. I listened to that podcast, Bad Christian. I also listened to the Liturgists, Liturgist podcasts, and then I listened to a few others on and off.
Pastor with No Answers.
Pastor with No Answers. Break It Down. Those are all like offshoots.
Break it down,
Yeah, Riley loves that.
Break it down.
Those are offshoots of the Bad Christian because they're guys in the Bad Christian podcast that do offshoot podcasts. I also listen to
that like all they do?
Podcasting. That's like their main income now, I think.
Cool.
They were all, with the exception of Joey, part of a band called Emery that I used to listen to back in the day. That's how I found them. They started off with a blog called anything. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It started off as a blog, and I really liked the blog. This was like in 2014, I think. And the blog turned into the Bad Christian blog, which turned into the Bad Christian podcast, I guess. I don't know the timeline of things. But yeah, I used to listen to Emery back in the day. And sometimes I'll throw on some Emery every once in a while. But these conversations, these podcasts, I don't necessarily agree with everything that's said on the Bad Christian, or definitely not the Liturgists. Liturgist challenges me a lot more, some of their ideas. They're very, very left.
Yeah.
And those things kind of challenge me. But some of the things that I'm starting to pick up in culture is a lot of the things I think is wrong too. Like everybody is shaming. I don't even know if I even want to talk about this, but I don't know. I do pay attention to what's going on in culture, and I'm starting to develop more ideas. But
It's hard not to.
But I don't think I have a solid idea quite yet of what I really think. But one thing I did notice this week that was kind of sticking out to me, I'm kind of left leaning sort of a little bit. I think, the right end of the political spectrum, I don't agree with a lot of the things. But with the left, I'm starting to point out the faults of the left, which is like the progressives, quote unquote progressives, are kind of shaming a little bit.
Give me an example.
So there are these sexual harassment things that are coming out.
Right.
Not only that, but like just everything. Any sort of hot topic political issue. People I follow on Twitter who are kind of left leaning will be kind of judgmental and like, I guess I don't know how I see. I'm still trying to develop my ideas on.
What do
this.
you mean by shaming? Like victim shaming?
Not victim shaming, but like
What do you mean?
shaming people who don't think like them. Like you're not progressive enough, so I'm gonna call you out on Twitter and I'm gonna shame you because you need to think like me.
There's flaws on both sides of things. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go extreme either
So
way.
yeah, and like I said, I don't even know if I really want to bother my mind with those sort of things. But
Well, the whole point of this, though, the whole point is that you need to think for yourself and you need to educate yourself and
Yeah.
you need to think about both sides and come to a conclusion. And you need to understand that your perspective and where you come from and your experiences influence the way you feel about everything.
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to have those same perspectives and the same understanding or the same ignited passion about a certain thing that you do.
yeah,
It doesn't make them a crappy human being. It just means they're not coming from the same place you are.
right, yeah. So there's that. I pay attention, like I said, and I kind of have my own opinions, but I'm still trying to gather those opinions and make sense of those opinions. And we.
Mommy, I want some more.
Okay.
More. Daddy, I
No,
want some
it's all gone. Sorry, dude.
I want some more. Daddy.
Okay. All right.
And here's number 2.
Yeah. So
Here they come.
yeah, let's just continue to talk. Whoa, he's grinding his teeth.
I know, and it's terrible for.
That like hurts me.
Why is this?
No. Do
on a
not grind
second.
your teeth. So these are the sorts of things that have been on my mind all week.
I think this guy's car might have stalled out.
Who?
The guy outside. He's turning. He's in the middle of the intersection, and his car is stalled.
Maybe he needs help pushing it. I'll see if he needs help.
Yeah, let's pause it.
All right.
Maybe we should wrap it up and be good neighbors. Anyway.
We'll wrap it up here in a second.
Stop.
Well, you want to wrap it up now?
Yeah.
So,
That guy needs help. You should.
well, as I cue the music, what
Okay.
are you listening to this week?
Children mostly.
Is that
Seriously.
is that a new band?
Yeah. 24/7 all the time. Their first album is called "I'm Super Annoyed and I Need Some Mental Peace."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously though, like let's just wrap it up. Okay. Now my kid's handing me garbage. It's time.
Okay. Well, it's been a good Saturday morning. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you later.